if your quarterback is the only threat of a run game that you have, you don't have much, right? It's an unsustainable recipe. And on top of that, he had to throw the football, and drop back and rip it 42 times. It can't be overstated, in my opinion, in today's world, where defensive coordinators are now more than ever taking the chess match to the offense, right? Dictating their own matchups and mismatches. They are, once again, rolling coverages, disguising blitzes at a ridiculous level, right? It's unsustainable. Now, more than ever, like, the Packers are a very good team. Let's not get lost on that. And at times it even looked like Matt LaFleur was playing with his food, right? Like the announcers even alluded to it. They're like, oh, wait, he's been sitting on this right now. Time to dial it up a little bit. And then it's just boom, boom, boom. They march right down the field like it's an opening game script all over again. You've got to possess the ability to eliminate whatever the defense thinks that they have in their bag of tricks. And the quarterback having to process everything all in a split second and be Superman. The hardest position in all sports. At some point, you've got to line up. Be able to misdirect and physically impose your will on teams on the ground. LaFleur's team can do that. Shanny Tree. We know how that goes. All right, but this is where Cowboys fans really should be thankful that a guy by the name of Clayton Adams is finally in their building. This right here. I'm a huge fan of Jayden Daniels, but let's also not forget year 2. And coaches all across the league now have an entire season's worth of film and footage to game plan for you much better. You better have a multi-dimensional approach, or things for the Commanders in the postseason will look a lot different this year if they even get there.
Well, I hope that makes sense. I know, to me, it kind of felt like I was trying the best that I could to not ramble. Sometimes that's hard, and it's also hard for me to understand fully what makes sense and what doesn't. Like what I should elaborate more on if something I'm saying is wrong or confusing, or you agree with it and you want me to just stick on that point more so than anything else I'm saying. I got to know those things, and it's hard to do that unless you guys are leaving me your feedback. So I will be better in the future about checking your comments, your notifications, right? But here's the thing, okay? I watched the Cowboys do this. And I hope I'm not coming off overly critical of the Commanders, because I do believe that they have time to get things sorted out. I think that obviously the trade deadline can do a lot of good for a lot of teams. Okay, but this very fact right here, everything that we just discussed, just tying it back into the Cowboys here. We watched the Cowboys do this, struggle with this for 5 years. I said the last half decade plus. Top scoring offense, okay? Let's just say top 5 to eliminate all the confusion. A couple of those times at least they were like the league's number 1 scoring offense, dating back to just say 2019 to 2020. All right? They get to the postseason and they crumble because smart and well-coached and talented defenses in the playoffs, they force your hand and they take away what you're good at. So if you're only good at one thing, which most recent example, 2023, Dak Prescott, MVP caliber campaign, right? If you average 3.2 yards per carry in the postseason, it's not good enough. If you can't reclaim the chess match from the defensive coordinator, who with his hybridized, positionless plethora of players on his side of the ball is now making the quarterback and the offensive coordinators and the offensive line's lives more difficult than it ever has been. I think we're going to continue to see a dip in scoring and touchdowns, or at least if it's not a dip, it's going to be a very high concentration of only a select few teams who really and truly possess the ability to do what I'm discussing here. And no matter who they're playing, they can take their misdirection, their physicality up front, their dictation of the matchup and the fight to any defense that they come against. A select few. But I still think even if that's not if that's the case league-wide, with the exception of those few teams, and the Packers are one of them, the Ravens are one of them, the Bills are one of them, the Eagles are another. The Lions used to be. They're still in question. We'll see. How much of a drop-off they're losing Ben Johnson, how significant is that truly? We're going to find out. They're a question mark, though. They used to be able to do this. Okay, the 49ers used to be able to do this. We'll see how healthy they can they remain healthy enough. But this is why I was on an island with Voch and with Lou and maybe a couple others all spring leading up to the draft about O-line's in play, y'all. Listen, it's got to be addressed. Because for all this right here, this is why. And so they did that. Tyler Booker, pairing him now with two other guys who are maulers, right? Javonte Williams is a pad level and punishing type of player. Power and pad level. Okay, but you have to have a plan up front first. You have to be able to create misdirection, and you have to be able to create movement. Physically. The Packers are obviously capable of that. I don't believe the Commanders are. I think the Cowboys are. We still got to see it. But everything that we've touched on, once again, I don't know how much more I need to elaborate. I don't know how closely. There's probably a bunch of there may be a bunch of new viewers from different fan bases, Packers, Commanders alike, right? So welcome. If you're new here, first time viewer, I'm Lando from the Lando Show. This is Sports Below the Surface. I'm solo dadding right now this week. My wife is out of town on a bachelorette trip, and I've been sick. Double ear infection. So you might still be able to hear it in my voice, but I apologize if that's the case. And just know that if there's any extended absence, there's a good reason for it. Either it's kid related or I'm just feeling like I'm on my deathbed, which is kind of how I felt there for about 48 straight hours. But still, it's been an uphill climb. But needless to say, man, the ever evolving NFL. If you want 45 minutes of this with me and Voch, it's on my channel. I'll post that link in the description so you guys can access that quickly. We discussed the evolution. And we went over all this in depth. It's very real. So I think the best way that I want to simplify it for the viewer out there, if anybody's confused, and if I just had to sum it up in one or two sentences, ultra, hybrid, and creative defenses are so athletic now and so confusing because of what they do to dictate the post-snap picture that you can no longer outflank them because their athleticism matches you physically. They can play with 5 and 6 DBs. The linebackers are running 4-3s these days, right? And then you got hybridized edges that can drop into coverage. Okay, that's part of mugging the line of scrimmage, changing the post-snap picture, disguising blitzes, all that, right? Hybridized defenses, ultra creative defensive coordinators. You better eliminate the guesswork from forcing all of that in the modern game off of your quarterback's plate, and you better be able to dictate your preferred matchup, re-snatch the chess match from the defense. They have adapted to what used to be the modern spread and tempo and aerial attack, right? Bombs all over the yard. Look at the trends. Explosive plays in the NFL. 2014 it peaks and then it begins to level out, and now it's just been on a dip ever since. We're reaching the bottom right now, and it's about to get on the upswing again. Offenses are countering with more of a foundation of physicality first, with nuanced rushing plans, right? Clayton Adams, okay? Just know that name. You're going to keep hearing me preach it. That pendulum is swinging. And it was a first-hand view and account of that tonight on Thursday Night Football. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember, prayer changes things and the war's already won. Talk to you soon.